I'm Chris. Welcome to a new episode of OCD Geeks.
And I'm Jack. Hi guys, welcome back.
So, how's September going, Jack?
Well, going to an end. I'm already reminding Green Day's song, Wake Me Up When September Ends, when I'm approaching this part of the season.
Beautiful but sad song.
But sad song, I think I would be playing a cover one of these days. What about you, Chris? How are things going?
Nothing special. Still focusing on our podcast and new ideas about how to improve our channel.
Thank God you're creative.
Today we are going to talk about a new game released for both the Xbox as well as the PlayStation that is called Life is Strange True Colors. Are you familiar with that, Jack?
Well, actually, I played a few hours on this game. I didn't know this until the day that you decided to talk to me about it. I appreciated since the very last frame.
You played the first one, right?
Yes, exactly, the first one. We'll go deeper into this, but I can say that I appreciated this game. As you know, I'm not so keen on video game as a whole. There are really a few titles which I enjoyed back in the years. I think I could give this a try and go on because I really liked it. I would want to ask you a few questions about it because you know more than me. So if our listeners agree with us, it would be sort of an interview today.
Just a chat between two friends, one of them more familiar with this series, while the other, Jack is approaching the series right now. It's kinda an interesting perspective from, let's say, a newbie one as well as all-time fan.
Yes, I think we can settle this way.
Life is Strange has many titles by now. The first one as well as the second. There is also a spin-off called Life is Strange Before the Storm, as well as the latest Life is Strange True Colors. Each of every story has different main characters. Even if you are approaching right now, you don't have to be familiar with the first and the second chapter of the series. It's a completely new story. You can start right away.
Yes, I think one of the pro of the game is the storytelling because as well as the development of the character, which I think it's pretty good, the storytelling is one of the best feature. I could appreciate this since the starting of the story of Max Caulfield, the protagonist of the first chapter. It's like a teenage game because it involves the drama of a schoolgirl. Somehow she wakes up in what seems to be kind of a nightmare. She finds herself in the middle of a storm. Then on the next frame we see her sitting in the classroom with her mates. From that moment on, I don't want to spoil anything, but she would be called to prevent the happening of some mysterious and dramatic events. She would have to reverse time. I appreciated the attention to the little details and the beauty of the soundtrack. There are many among my favorite bands, for example Alt J. The soundtrack is melodic, indie rock as well. All my attention sometimes throughout my playing of the game was for the soundtrack. I couldn't concentrate myself on the story because I was listening to the songs.
If you enjoy this kind of music like folk rock, indie rock, you can easily find the soundtrack, I believe, both on YouTube as well as Spotify, so you can just enjoy the music without playing.
We really recommend our listeners to enjoy this soundtrack, even without playing the game if they don't have the chance. But of course, we recommend also the game.
This kind of game are like graphic novels. It's not like an action game, for example, Battlefield or Call of Duty. It's simply, focus on the story. Actually, your decisions really matter. So, for example, if I play the game, I can reach a completely different ending compared to Jack according to our decisions. That's a reason to play the game again in order to discover different endings.
Yes, it's very personal. I like this interactive stuff. It reminds me of the last Call of Duty Cold War that I played briefly. I noticed that it gave you the same possibilities.
I played that as well. Don't mistake, those are completely different titles. But, I see Jack's point.
Yes, I was only referring to the choices that you can make throughout the play.
Life is Strange focus also on some kind, as Jack said, superpower, something that goes beyond your standard reality. For example, the power to reverse time. time, not for so long, maybe for a few minutes. I'm playing right now Life is Strange True Colors. In this case, the main character is Alex Chang. She has quite a dramatic story. She was separated from her brother in an early age because of, family situation. Basically, after 8 years, they have a reunion. Actually, the brother Gabe invites Alex to join him in a little mountain town in order to start a new life together. Alex is of course happy to see her brother again. She started to get familiar with this new lifestyle. At a certain point, a dramatic event leads to her brother's death. Actually, this is not a spoiler because you can see that even in the trailer. From that, the game will develop according to Alex's desire to show lights upon the mystery. It's quite a dramatic story. I wouldn't recommend to young kids. It's more like a young adult story. Even in this one, the role of music is so important. For example, there is a music store in town. Alex has a guitar. She enjoys to play covers. For example, there is a beautiful cover of Radiohead's Creep that I believe you really enjoy, Jack.
Yes, I really like that song. It's very famous. In Italy, Vasco Rossi paid tribute in one of his songs.
My favorite album of Radiohead is OK Computer. It's quite old one, but it's amazing.
I think I listened to it once a few years ago. It was a nice album.
There are moments, for example, there is a bridge on a lake. Basically, you can simply sit there and just enjoy the landscapes of this beautiful mountain lake, just listening to the music and Alex's thoughts about her life. Actually, the main focus on the story is Alex's superpower. She sees some kind of aura surrounding people. The aura has different colors according to the mood of this person. For example, she can see a bright red that symbolizes anger, as well as a peaceful blue if the person is calm. She can read mind. In order to get more clues, this power has also some kind of dangerous side because she completely matches the mood of the other person. So if this person is quite mad, she will experience the same anger. It could be beautiful but also dangerous.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That would be a useful superpower to have. I don't know if in the long run I would exchange with the ability to reverse time.
I think reversing time would be better. You really want to know what other people are thinking? I'm not sure about that.
Sometimes it's better not. Speaking about the first chapter which I played, I really appreciate some themes recurring throughout the playing. For example, the bullying, high school issues that a teenage has. So it may help young adults that play the games. They can be very empathic with the story, character. It's really good to that target.
Even in Life is Strange True Colors, the theme of mental health is quite important. For example, the depression by losing a dear friend. I believe there is more, but I'm just playing the second episode, so I still have a long way to go in order to complete the game. The past of Alex is quite a mystery. I believe you will discover more while playing throughout the game. Also, Life is Strange 1 as well as 2 are divided into separate episodes. You can play the first one completely for free in order to check out the story and to see if it's your cup of tea or not, while Life is Strange 2 Color, it's a complete product. So you need to buy the full game. It's not possible to get the episodes separate. So it could be something to keep in mind. As for me, I will totally recommend you. I'm playing with my Xbox Series X. You can play also on PS5 as well as PC on Steam. For the other chapter, you can even play with the original PS4 or Xbox One. Especially the first one came out around 7 years ago. Even if you have an older PC, I believe it wouldn't be a problem to run that game.
Yeah, I think the same too. The requirements are not so high.
I remember, Jack, you're playing on a Mac, is it correct?
Yes, I'm playing it directly on my Mac. It's going pretty smooth. Both the videos, clips, and the interactive parts are going pretty well.
Overall, I really enjoy this kind of games that are deeper experiences compared to, let's say, your standard shooter. You can really relate to characters. Of course, you can develop the story according to your style of playing and your decisions. Also, you can reflect about some kind of deeper themes, for example, emotions as well as mental health. You are thinking about these characters even outside the time you're spent playing. It's basically like watching a TV series, with the big difference that the series will develop according to your choices. So it's quite meaningful.
It also has some kind of didactic. Of course, you feel involved in the story. You feel also guilty when things for the protagonist don't come out really good. As the surname of the protagonists point out, Caulfield, it reminds me also of the main character of the famous American book, The Catcher in the Rye. It highlights the teachings of the game and the didactic purpose that this experience has. It really means that even for a game, the screenplay and the story as a whole, the storytelling, can go deeper into the human sphere.
There are many Easter eggs, especially for young adult or adult. It could be quite interesting to spot all of them. Again, this is not a kids game. I wouldn't recommend for a younger audience. If you are in your 20s or 30s, like our age, it might be the perfect experience for you.
Yes, I think the same. I will be playing also the next chapters to see how different is the story as you recommended.
I wouldn't spoil anything, but I completed the original Life is Strange. You really cannot imagine what will happen next.
I guess something catastrophic and the events gets more dramatic day by day.
Maybe. I just saw one possible ending of the story, so might be possible that your ending will be completely different compared to mine.
I'll let you know about it.
We didn't say anything about the second chapter. This one has two brothers as main characters. Again, after a tragic event, they are run away from their hometown. It's kinda these brother connections and, experience quite an adventure together, even if it started from something dramatic.
I didn't know anything about it, but it seems also a fascinating story too.
Guys, are you playing this game as well? If so, what's your opinion about it? Maybe you are thinking about playing Life is Strange True Colors or even the older chapters after listening to our thoughts about it.
Or maybe are you getting curious about the soundtrack?
Even if you're not a gamer, I would totally recommend you the soundtrack if you're enjoying indie rock. Your comments and opinion are welcome in the section comments down below.
Give us your opinion. It's really well worth it.
You can reach us directly on Instagram and Twitter at Cris_OCDGeeks as well as Jack_OCDGeeks. Actually, Twitter is quite a recent one for us. We just started a few days ago. So you're welcome to follow us there as well.
Yeah.
If you have tips about how to use Twitter better, you can tell us because we are completely newbies to that platform.
It's a long time that I didn't tweet anything on the web. Don't forget, guys, also to check out our website www.ocdgeeks.me
for all geeky contents as well as mental health, music, and all our favorite topics. Stay tuned on OCD Geeks. So for now, let them talk, our freaks.
We stay tuned on OCD Geeks.